YouTube. This morning we have a Ibanez Jet King. This is a JTK-2 or JI as we say here, JTK-2. So yeah, I just had this in for a setup. I can't decide what it is. Is it kind of like a Firebird? It sort of looks a bit like a Firebird. But maybe the reverse body one. Bit like a Jaguar or a Jagmaster or something. Not sure. I should really look at this guitar. I wonder if this is it's actually possible. I wonder if this is an Ibanez original design from like the 60s or the 70s, like before they started doing all the copies and before they started doing their actual original designs, something like that. It kind of has that look of the, you know, the sort of Hofners and Sakai's and Auditions and all that, and you know, the sort of the quirky guitars. But it's not. It's like proper built. You know, it's made of solid wood. It's much more traditional construction. I've noticed it's got like cool looking fret markers on it, and a cool headstock, which I like a lot. And that's the old Ibanez logo. Neck is. It's a 3-piece. That's nice. Yeah, so it's a 3-piece laminate neck. Serial number IO5 Indonesia 2005. Wow, so it's almost vintage. So even though it's very vintage vibed, not really sure exactly what to play on it. I've got 11s on it. That's what the owner wanted. So I don't know, sort of 50s rock and roll somewhere. It kind of says that to me. I don't know. I know it's not like coloured. Like, you know, you can't think maybe more that these sort of colours. But I don't know. It's a sort of 50s. It's actually quite a chunky neck. I imagine it's 25.5 inch scale. I've not even checked. Yeah, so it's Fender scale, humbuckers. As you can see here, there's a couple of they look like on-off. Well, they are on-off, plastic on-off switches that look like they're from a stereo or something like that. But they are coil splits. These are not the original knobs, but they look very similar. There was one missing. So I put a new switch in it. Yeah, I had to do a wee bit. This one had been smashed up. The guy's excuse was absinthe. There's a couple of sort of lacquer cracks in the neck pocket. See, it doesn't have a neck plate either. It's got like a sort of an all-access neck joint, and then cool. They must have been very drunk when they drilled those holes in a straight line. That would be for tension reasons. Actually, to match up with this big solid metal plate on the top, which is nice. I mean, it's got a lot going for it, this guitar. But it had been smashed up, and basically the bridge was bent under the base, so the higher strings were lower than the outer strings. It's like they're higher than it's kind of like a convex, not a concave. Nope, a concave, not a convex. So basically, I put another bridge on it, took the saddles off, and then decided I would try and, because I'd already replaced the bridge, I tried to hammer the last one back into position, and it's better. You know, I took all the saddles off, and it wasn't on the guitar, obviously, but sometimes a hammer is the answer. But, good tuners. I mean, Ibanez just seem to be always good. I've no idea how much one of these costs. 300-400 quid, something like that, probably. So there we go. Single coil on the bridge, playing through the orange TH30. My God, these strings are thick. Then humbucker. I don't think that I'd engaged first time now. But that's kind of very much going in the direction of your vintage, as I was saying, the old Japanese type guitars. They kind of look a bit like this from a distance. Neck. But they're still strummable as an acoustic sort of thing, but I'm just playing through, you know, it's a 30 watt valve amp. It's not an acoustic amp. Both on. I think that sounds amazing. What it's doing, I noticed it was when it's splitting these coils, it's giving you the inside coils, not the outside coils, which is not the way I would have thought it would have done. It's not the way I would have done it, but I mean, maybe that's if you're aiming for this sort of almost lo-fi sound. totally can't play at all in the morning. That's a total failure of being able to play something I can actually play over the top of. Normally just stick to A minor. There we go, just a bit of that. That's in the right key. Neck. OS2 distortion. Bucker. Bridge, humbucker. Not a jammy mood this morning. You do have to push a lot harder with 11s than you do with 9s. My favourite sound on my Schecter Telly was always single coil in the bridge and humbucker in the neck. So for lead sounds. Rusty fuzz pedal. I'm going to go back through my pedals. I need my rat pedal back. That's been a couple of weeks I've managed without it, and the Boss one's not as good. And even the fuzz pedal, the Rusty Fuzz isn't as good as the Delamo one. I just moved my pedals about because I wanted to force myself to try something different. Yes, no, but I mean, it's an Ibanez, a modern Ibanez. They're all good. It's awesome. I'm still a little bit. And see that when I was playing there, that sort of playing chord and stuff, much more suited to that than it wasn't. It kind of, you saw me only playing it for 10 minutes, but kind of working out what it's for, and sort of rhythm guitar, like the way old like in 60s stuff. I was playing a wee bit Beatlesy sort of stuff there. It's kind of totally for that. So I mean, it looks like one of your ones the Beatles played when you see them in Hamburg, one of those sort of that era of guitar. It kind of it can do that sound as well with these coil splits, so it can sound like that, but it's not built out of really weird wood and like sort of, you know, they're generally a bit plywoody and sort of a bit quirky. This one, the actual fundamentals are, it's got decent sealed tuners, a normal scale length, a proper, and well, even a better than normal neck, a laminate neck, you know, and it's like, and a body made of solid wood, or I don't know, I'd imagine it's pieces. It looks like mahogany actually. I think it might be a one. I think it's a 3-piece. I think there's like it's a centre piece and then a 1 piece on either side. And they've painted it. It's been brinkled down the outside, so it could be a veneer. No, if it was a veneer, they'd do it in 1 piece. So it's three chunks of what I think is mahogany. Yeah, and slightly interesting, wee bit Hofnery inlays as well. But I mean, I think the main thing there, it'd be like sort of, I don't think it's really that expensive to get like an old 60s guitar that kind of looks like this. But then you've got the old problem about, you know, how reliable and how well built are these things, whereas this one is, what I wish they would do with cars, I wish they would make a car that was built like a modern car but looked like a Capri, which is kind of what this is. So it's built proper rock solid, and actually it's not unlike that Gibson Marauder, the Avon Marauder I've got. It's kind of almost, there's a thing about it that's kind of not entirely dissimilar to this. Something a bit different, but I mean, I think definitely would suit just about anything, really. Very, very traditional looking. You play it in country and all that. And it is an Ibanez, but Ibanez have their reputation for making, you know, it's like, oh, I've got an Ibanez, and you go, oh, I 24 frets, Floyd Rose, pointy headstock. You know, it's like, that's what you think. They always did everything. Obviously, before the pointy headstock existed, they didn't do them. But I mean, even at that point, they were still making, whether it's this exact model or something, you know, they always made sort of what they called art course, sort of, you know, semi-acoustics and acoustics and straties and tellies and sort of more traditional type things, as well as the pointy metal beasts, which they're now known for. But I mean, no, I like this a lot. It's very different. If you just want something you want to stick out in the crowd, everyone else has got a normal guitar. Oh, one of these, which it's kind of more, but even balance wise, it balances fine. It's well comfy. I don't really play sitting down, but I'd imagine it's probably alright for playing sitting down. I kind of sort of got that sort of jazz bassy type thing going on. Yep. So recommended JTK-2 Ibanez. Fun. Rock on.